we have all this Pekarna, all complex in computer CAD, and we can make now some different scenes, some different program. We can check this on the computer, but this is only a tool. It is not that we make with the computer some program. No, we can control, make some control about what would happen if somebody make this and this, and with this needs to make some walls away, or I don't know, etc. We can make some scenario already in computer if we want. We can make some new proposals or new plans or new ideas, and this is also how can we communicate between the people. They make here some program, and what can we do? Now we say something about Pekarna on this complex.
Just a few words about Maribor and the historic content of Maribor. The vast majority of you was with us today. We were actually only in the main city center, and due to the time restrictions, it is impossible for us to show you all Maribor and everything that's happening here. But I would like to just point out a few historical notes that will make you able to understand what led, or which historical facts led to the or allowed Pekarna to happen, so to say. Wikipedia says what Wikipedia says about Maribor. It's 41 square kilometers. The elevation is 260 kilometers above the sea level, and the population is supposed to be 95,589. If nobody died since the last information that Wikipedia made available. And the few history facts. Maribor was first mentioned in 1204 and became town privileges in 1254. And if I skip to the next big important year in the history of Maribor, it would be probably 1846, when the first train arrived in Maribor, because that brought Maribor, or the train and the railway actually enabled Maribor to develop into the industrial town that it was, or it still is, perhaps. In 1910, for instance, the populations, you can see the percentage of Austrian Germans living in Maribor and the Slovenes living in Maribor, although the surroundings of Maribor were predominantly only Slovenes. Then the First and the Second World War, between the First and the Second World War, the Kingdom of Serbs and Croats and Slovenes was formed, and Slovenia was a part of it. In this time, the industrialization of the town continued, and Maribor became one of the most important industrial bases of the former Yugoslavia, and at that time the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats and Slovenes. After the World War II, Maribor was actually the most war-damaged major city of Yugoslavia due to the fact that Allies bombed Maribor continuously during the Second World War, due to the fact that the Germans actually used the industry to produce war airplanes and stuff like that. And Slovenia then, in 1991, declared independence from Yugoslavia, and that resulted in a huge reduction of industrial enterprises due to the lack of markets, because the former Yugoslavia fell apart. And result was 25% of unemployment rate in Maribor. And the second result that was very important for Pekarna was lots of industrial buildings, empty industrial buildings, and lots of empty barracks and other buildings that belong to the Yugoslav army. And now I would like you to leave you to my friends here to continue with the presentation of Pekarna. These are only the facts that would help you to understand the backgrounds of why there are so many places, industrial and former military places, that are still empty, or they were empty in the 90s.
Okay. My job today is to tell you something more concrete things or details about Pekarna. What is it, who is there, what we are doing. I thought it might be a debate. I don't have slides, so if you feel like ask me something, you can stop me and I can explain you something more in details. For example, if I say that there are 10 bands playing there, if you want to know what kind of bands are, I can explain that these are reggae, punk rock, punk, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Okay. Pekarna, as it is, was a military complex until 1991, when army left it empty. And in next few months it was robbed also by local businessmen. They took away the stuff for doing, because it was bakery, Pekarna means bakery. So the building we will see today, you will see also the ovens and so. So it was, you know, when something is left to itself, then somebody can come and pull the lights out, windows, everything. So it was quite, in 4 years it was quite damaged in the meaning of infrastructure. So in 1994, a few guys, you will meet one today, I don't know why it's not today, broke into Pekarna, so they climbed the wall and yeah, they saw it's electricity there, it's water there, why not, you know, maybe they can start to do something. And they started to prepare this building. It was first squatted, and they started to clean first things, you know, and soon after that, the other youngsters, when they saw, oh, there is no police coming, yeah, let's do something there. And so the youngsters and young people from all over the city started to make groups and occupy spaces, clean, and make some connections, electricity. Yeah, so the basic two things were satisfied: water and electricity, and the roof. Yeah, there was no water, so it was not raining on the heads. Yeah, okay, and for the development of people's minds at that time in Slovenia, we were still with one leg in socialism, one leg in already some new system, liberal capitalism. Yeah, it was not very well accepted, you know, because we were in the, you saw 100,000 people, cities, really in some global thinking is really a village. Yeah, the perception of this kind of culture was, yeah, these are all junkies, you know, everybody was afraid of coming here, I mean from elders, older people. Not young people, because one club run by public institutions, which is also here today, there was one good alternative club in the city center, but the local municipality threw them out, and it was a good moment. At the same time, Pekarna was squatted, so it was kind of hole in the where people to go, you know, these alternative people, yeah. and so it was quite appropriate place to be. So yeah, for the still today for the some state of mind of the older people in Maribor, Pekarna is not a very nice place to go. They look at the walls, you know, they look at the windows, they look at the long hair still. For some part of population, but more or less, Pekarna is not ghetto anymore. That is important to know, because more and more organizations, I can say most of the organizations, groups are started to work publicly. So they have kind of management, they have some kind of PR, whatever it is. If it's PR, spreading flyers all over the city, or making Facebook campaign or whatever, they are doing this publicly. And also the most active organizations from the Pekarna started to make programs which are not appropriate for this space, or maybe we look for some other audience outside. This I mean like some youth programs, social programs, humanitarian as well, etc., etc. At the moment, there is, yeah, the number diverse. We don't know everything because some part of the Pekarna is still squat. Yeah, it's split into one legal part. Everybody has a contract, and still half illegal part where there are no contracts. Users, we call them users, are still there inside doing things, doing programs, but they don't have contracts whatsoever with the local municipality to be there. But I think the content and the programs are those which are most important in such a complex. If you want local municipality to be tolerant to such spaces. Yeah? So okay. So there are about 20 users, so different users, organizations, groups, collectives, individuals, bands, whatever. That's around 100 people, 120, something like that, participating in programs directly in Pekarna, as well as the people who is coming outside to the events and so on. So we have the biggest second-hand bookstore in Slovenia. There are two bigger concert places, clubs. There are several rehearsal places for the bands. We also have some new, very new age zombie church, registered religious, yeah, kind of. They're registered. We have climbing wall, skate hall, recycling of used computers, then some offices of organizations, and we have hostel as well. But I think Maya will say more about. We will see the hostel. Then we have public institutions also working in the same space with youth and cultural programs. So I think a lot of things we give quite a lot of output. If you look at the whole city, I can say even that youth work is mostly based it's mostly based in Pekarna. We have 3 youth centers, 4 youth centers, registered youth centers in Pekarna, based in Pekarna, but we are of course on some different fields doing youth work. of course, there have to be some way to solve conflicts between users in Pekarna. And during the years, some different models were used. At the beginning, it was total anarchy. You know, who saw the empty space, they broke into, and they started to do something which was not controlled anyhow by the community. Then, after a year or two, it was built kind of community. It's called plenum. It's yeah, it's kind of counseling. Yeah, it's gathering of all users. Yeah, and we call it, if we need it from time to time, when is some common thing to resolve. I think it's commonly used in sports. So it's quite democratic, totally not hierarchic, so equal treating of users. We meet on the common meeting. Who is there is there. They can vote. Who is not there, we can vote without it. So we don't look who takes time to come. He participates in decisions. Yeah? So the most important decisions in Pekarna's history was really derived from this institution. Like when they wanted at a few points local municipality, you know, it depends which major is on the who is the main guy in the city. Almost all of them started to think, yeah, that it's a nice place in the center of the city. We could build maybe a garage for the cars there, or put the bank there. Some, of course, some private interests were there to build blocks, flats, etc., etc. And these institutions were very important because more aggressive was attack, more community was closer together. Yeah? We forgot all the bad things, conflicts and everything. Then we had the same aim, same goal, and we followed this goal. Yeah? After the goal was achieved, so we stayed there. They didn't throw us out. We're still here, 21 years. And this same institution is also remaining the head of some government model in the Pekarna. So it was a good moment that the local municipality accepted this, or they maybe thought that if they wouldn't, they would have the problem as the majors before. So Raspravičin, Župan, major? Mayor, sorry, major is mayor. But he is major. Okay. So this is regarding internal relations. Do you have any kind of question? Maybe I was a little bit. We will come to the management model later. I will explain it more in details. But this is just to get impression what is Pekarna. Yeah? Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Are people the same throughout 21 years, or they change? So what is the...
Some of them are the same, but I can say that who is the same, they develop in some more organizational form. So they have association or something, and the newcomers mostly are not registered collectives or individuals, and so on. Yeah, in the management model, I will try to explain more why is the new model better than this anarchy situation. But I can maybe give a hint. When some place is emptied by someone left Slovenia, or he didn't want to work anymore or something, You don't know who will come next, because that happens overnight, you know. Just give the lock, but we say, okay, if nobody wanted to do anything with this place, we accept the first one who is coming, yeah? But the problem is if these people who took the place doesn't understand the whole picture of Pekarna, yeah? So we didn't have possibility to throw them out or whatsoever. We didn't have this force. But difference is just when these people leave Pekarna. Yeah? If we would have a force to say them, no, they don't have contract, go out. You need to talk to some institution. Then they wouldn't go into it. But what throws them out over years, but it can take 2, 3, 4 years maybe. They maybe don't use place at all for some public interest, yeah, but they just use the place for, I don't know. Even if it's band is good, you know, if it's closed place for the band is good, but somebody keep the place, just maybe they will need it after some time. But after sometimes it happens that they don't feel like welcome here, and that throw them out. It's just a matter of time. Eh? Okay. So another question, yeah?
Is there any collaboration with Klinika Zdravljenja Fošija and you, or
Between?
between Klinika Zdravljenja Fošija?
No,
No.
there's no.
It's
no,
not even planned.
No, no.
Okay.
I
It's
just-
not a sport.
um,
Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you mentioned nearly next by in a way that, okay, half of the space is still squatted. Still squatted for 21 years now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure, yeah, but I mean, then the question arises on which, I mean, maybe it's only like your whatever theory, but on which basis this squatted people are not thrown out by the officials. I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about whatever public authority who would have the possibility to set them on the street. So I mean, what is the reason why they are not set on the street?
Kind
I think
of.
This will be explained, and later, not directly, but you will be able to understand to the formal history of how the municipality became the owner of the place, and what was happening after that, and how the current model then developed and was institutionalized.
Okay.
Because nowadays there is actually no great need, so to say. There still is a need in one way or another, but no great need for the municipality to throw out anyone, because we are kind of covered with our managing model of the case in Pekarna, because it's formally legal, so to say.
Okay, that
to
makes me
you
more
mean in general, why didn't
curious and suspicious. Sorry.
21 years, you mean in general, why didn't they throw us all out, or just particular?
No, I'm most of all thinking about the part that is for obviously half part of the whole territory, which is for 21 years squatted and not being cleaned. I mean, there should be a reason.
Yeah, there are reasons, and
Yeah,
you'll
but
get
you-
your answers later.
I think the main reason, I can answer
Yeah.
directly, yeah. I think the main reason is because program output of the whole users in Pekarna was too strong that they shut us down. In the city. We were too important for the city because the most of the alternative culture was kept here for a long time. I think that's the main reason. And whenever they wanted to if somebody wanted to throw us out, we kept together, no matter who is doing what.
Mhm.
And we always try to make public debate. It was not like fighting, really, but when one mayor wanted to throw us out, we make public debate with journalists. What will you do better with this place than we are doing, you know? And also, as he said, when it came to exchange with army, with Slovenian army and police for building, it was already planned that this area is kept as for the culture purposes. So, you know,
Okay.
the plan was always to fix the things here, but they didn't have money. That is also and we were keeping the place for free, quite good in quite good shape.
And Maribor is a nice city. Kind, yes, I think.
Okay.
This is a good thing, right?
No, definitely. So I will now be able to provide some answers to your questions, or you'll probably get some answers from my presentation.
No, I fully
I will not be boring you with the history in a nutshell again. And this is the formal history of KC Pekarna now. This is also one of the reasons why the occupants were never thrown out. One of the reasons, not the only reason. Before 1991, the Yugoslav National Army was the owner of the place. From 1991 to 2002, Ministry of Defense was the formal owner of the place. And the Ministry of Defense was the formal owner of many places like this, many empty former military buildings and barracks. And still up until today, some of them are not being used, not only in Maribor, but all over Slovenia, because the Yugoslav army was actually the 8th strongest army in Europe in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. That's like, that was the force to be reckoned with, so to say. We had lots of army due to the geopolitical situation and the dividing between the Eastern and the Western bloc. So, and the Ministry of Defense kind of did not do much in the way of cleaning or throwing people out here. And only from 2002, or the contract between the municipality of Maribor and the Ministry of Defense was signed on the 31st of December 2001. So in the 2002, the municipality of Maribor became the owner of Pekarna. Now, of course, the municipality has to obey laws and regulations. These are just some of them which I have to study when I then have to explain or try to defend or try to the positions of the municipality, or when we are talking about the how things should be or would be or have to be managed due to the laws in Slovenia. And one of the laws pretty important is the Physical Assets of the State and the Local Government Act, which defines how the states and the local governments can sell, buy, lease physical assets. And if we would only have this act that would regulate physical assets, it would be actually impossible for the municipality to tolerate or to allow KC Pekarna to happen. The act that actually does allow us to tolerate and to try to manage KC Pekarna is the act regulating the realization of the public interest in the field of culture. Because this act actually allows the municipality, the state and the municipalities to give away their physical assets for non-commercial use in the fields of culture. And some of the regulations in this act are pretty vague, and we can kind of play with them and try to extend their or try to explain it in a way that it is possible to do what we are trying to do here now. All the other acts I will ignore for now because you will probably be bored to death, and I wouldn't like you to fall asleep or something like that. We also heard some words about the management model. This is all just like the 5 so-called layers in the management model. I will not go into too many details. The owner is now the municipality of Maribor, the operator is the Youth Cultural Center of Maribor, the MKC Maribor. Then we have the inhabitants or the occupants, the program council and the program coordinator. And this was set down also by the city council, adopted by the city council, working together with the occupants. And we actually have now ordinance of the city that actually adopted the managing model. And that was in the year of 2010, and since then, although it's not being used completely or in full extent, it's now partially legal, or at least we could say it is legal for occupants to be here, and it's not illegal for the city of Maribor or for the municipality of Maribor to not throw them out. Now, the management model, as you see, was adapted in 2010. That was like 8 years after the municipality of Maribor became the owner of the place. And in that meantime, some mayors, we had several different mayors that had several different ideas of what to do or not to do with the Pekarna. And as you already heard, some of them also wanted to shut it down and had some commercial or other ideas, but the opposition was simply too strong, and the political impact was probably too big for them, so they decided not to throw them out before the management model was adopted. Yes,
This
please.
management model is only for this building.
Nope. Or yes. Yes and no. For this building is being completely used. For all the other buildings, it's used mutatis mutandis.
It's
And
used for
who is,
this
for
building.
instance, appointing, nominating the operators, employees
Employees of what?
of the operator, youth, cultural center, who is appointing the director?
MKC will explain that in a moment or today, because
City of Maribor or they themselves?
City, of course.
City of Maribor.
I didn't understand
Of
the
course.
question. Who is putting the
Appointing.
managing me?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a story.
yeah, MKC Maribor is an institution set up by the city of Maribor, by the municipality of Maribor. So plans versus reality also will give you even more insight of what is actually happening. The plan, the actual plan, even before 2010, when the model was adopted, was to completely renew all the buildings within MC Pekarna. That didn't happen mainly due to the lack of money, and only this building was completely renewed. For all the other buildings, the management model would be adopted mutatis mutandis. That's said in the management model. The last provision of the management model says that only when everything is adopted completely, renewed completely, the management model would be applied directly. Otherwise, we use it as we see fit, so to say. That were the plans. Now, we don't have the money to renew all the other buildings, so let's go to reality. Reality, only one building was renewed, and in 2014, 2 years ago, a work group for maintenance of KC Pekarna was set up by the current mayor, it was decided and then adopted by the mayor that it would be probably better, and we will try to follow the path of partially renewing the buildings, not completely tear them down and rebuild them and making them look like new. We also found the money to do some things. For instance, renewing of the roof of one of the buildings was done last year, and the rebuilding or renewing or replacing the roof on another building will be done in this year. I mean, in the next month. The work's supposed to be starting any day now. And reality is that at the moment, the communication between the municipality of Maribor and the occupants is much better than it was, for instance, before the year of 2010. Now, the finances, not so important, just maybe to show what the city is able or is ready to invest at the moment into the KC Pekarna, replacing the roof, electricity and water, and then one important thing, Ramis also talked about it, that programs and events that are being held by the occupants, that are not only in this building, that was completely removed and the model is fully used in this building, are being co-financed by the municipality of Maribor due to their quality of work. And they do qualify with any other NGOs that they work in the fields of culture or youth. And their programs are good enough, and that's recognized by special commissions, and they get the money the municipality of Maribor partially finances those programs. And the future, from the point of view of the municipality, is that we will probably have to improve or adopt the management model, because we actually changed our plans when it comes to rebuilding or renewing the whole cultural center Pekarna. That means that at the moment we are trying to, together with MKC and with users, trying to find new, better solutions to the management model and adopt a new model that would allow us in the future to be fully legal, not only partially legal. That some of lawyers dealing with the management model might argue that the model isn't working or isn't being used, and that's due to that the operations or the people operating here, the occupants, aren't functioning legally. So that would be a short presentation from me, and
it would be strange if on the same table would be sitting NGOs and government representatives, and we wouldn't say something against.
okay.
Yeah, finances. These 110,000 euros are not meant for programs in Pekarna, but this is money which was raised by the organizations which are based in Pekarna, not only for programs which are here. Okay?
Yeah.
This is very important, because we cannot get a lot of money for the concerts we are doing in Pekarna, because it's kind of authentic culture, and municipality doesn't have a lot of ears for hearing this music. So yeah, just this is just a comment that this is money for the organizations which are working in Pekarna, but not for the programs in Pekarna, because we are really spreading our activities all over the city and stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to confuse. So this is the money that was gained or programs were co-financed to the organizations that are based here, but their programs are also being carried out, and their events elsewhere, not only here. So yeah, sorry if I I didn't, I wasn't trying to confuse you or tell you something.
Yeah, because somebody can make a summary of those numbers in this code.
Yeah, you know that?
Martina said she's got some high expectation of me, so I'm very short only for not making any mistake. So, we have two presentations. The first part is about our role as a manager now in this building, and then later on perhaps for whole KC Pekarna. These are some bullet points. The Youth Cultural Center Maribor is active since 1993. It is a public institution. Its founder is Municipality of Maribor. It is the only public institution with a decree which states that it's performed work in the field of youth sector. Our role until 2011 we were in a different location, but since then we are here in this renewed building. Our role in KC Pekarna, given from owner, is infrastructural support for non-governmental organization for manager building. This means technical support and advisory support. In practice, that means we reserve space for NGOs. On the ground floor, you see downstairs, there is space for Društvo Centar za pomoć mladim, Zavod Pekarna Magdalenske mreže, Zavod za podporo civilno-družbeni inicijativi in multikulturno sodelovanje Pekarna Magdalenske mreže, Kulturno društvo Mladinski centar Indijane, Sofini ljubimci, Društvo za razvoj humanistike. Due to the renewal of the management building in Pekarna in 2010 and 2011, were some of the users of this building experienced alternative space for activated users and are in Koroška Cesta in the center of Maribor. These are Galerija K18, Food Glassroom, Akademsko planinsko društvo Kozjak Maribor, Potapljaško društvo Maribor, and now some legal stuff. Legal succession of MKC Maribor for infrastructure support for non-governmental organization are today's institute in the legal successor of the public institution Youth Cultural Center Maribor, founded by the municipality of Maribor with the decree of establishment in 1993. Next decree of establishment of MKC was in 2004. In the final decree is written about the placement of the institute in KC Pekarna, which states that after the completion of renovation of KC Pekarna, the founder will transfer the infrastructural management to the institute, which will every 3 years hold the call for a program coordinator for KC Pekarna. Management of KC Pekarna is implemented in accordance with the management model of the KC Pekarna, which was approved by the City Council of the Municipality of Maribor in 2010. MKC Maribor is currently managing only the management building because there has been no fulfillment of the condition written in the decree. So these are our main fields of operation, but about them we will talk later on.
Okay, can I ask you, who's the program manager now?
Program manager is Pekarna Magdalenske mreže.
I will now go from this one.
Možda će sam ja stupiti da nam pojasnim. So,
Who is the Pekarna Magdalenske?
It's an
NGO.
She's here. She's here.
It's an NGO.
Any questions related to that? But
I will explain the whole structure.
But otherwise you will come
It's,
and visit our organization.
I will explain just in.
Okay, I just tell one story. When I became the director, they told me that they want to build a wall between the Pekarna and between this building because of the challenges between the relationship and all this. And we were thinking what to do because the only way to make this cultural center Pekarna to grow and to become an open space is to join our forces. So we made like a challenge to, instead of the wall, make is a garden of roses. So I like to make a symbolical statement that we together put the roses into the ground to show that from the ground it can become flowers, even if it's the hard way to come up. So we sort of started to work closer, and we are searching for a way to make a model that would cover all the needs legally and also all expectations for all the users that are here actually living. You could say 21 year being active in the field here is putting lots of your energy, also personal money into the buildings, so we are trying to find the right model to fit to everything. So I believe we are in the good way, and now I'm challenging the Ramis to tell what are the difficulties.
Okay, first, because Lina only explained this legal part of the management model, actually management of Pekarna as it is consists of four very important participants. One is program committee or program council, which is built, which is voted out of the users. So, and this is the users are the most important, and because they're voting their representative in this program council. Yes? Okay. And this program council, sorry? Also illegal. Voting is also from the all, all users. Yeah, exactly. So this is program council, I think, which consists out of seven person. Yeah. And then on the other side is program coordinator, which is kind of
The
executive of the program council. And Ushka, which is sitting there, is program coordinator. Yeah, she is running the institution, which is program coordinator, and she is also member of the program council. So one member. Yeah, and Sasha is member program council as the outsider, public interest outsider.
And I was invited to become a member of the plenum, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah. She's a member of the users. Yeah, that's for the first time that some member of the, but she doesn't have possibility to vote.
Oh, I don't?
You do? Okay, so we have program committee, program coordinator, and as a manager, janitor.
Building manager.
Yeah. But in the meaning of technical management, yeah, so just administrative tool for the local municipality to make everything legal. Yes?
How many users approximately you are talking
As I
about?
said in the beginning, 20 users, but it means like institutions, groups, collectives.
And people overall?
I think around 120, yeah? That would be. But okay, you know, like our association have more than 3,000 legal members, but we don't count it as user, but only the people running the organization. Okay, yes.
So, I'm just, sorry. So I'm not sure that I correctly understand the relationship between the manager, as you say, the janitor, because I don't think it's the janitor. I don't and the occupants, as you then say that. So just imagine the situation. Is it possible? Is it possible that everybody else, except the MKC, says that okay, we don't want MKC anymore here?
No, that's not possible. MKC is here because they are legal hand of the local municipality.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just imagine.
As I told you, it's
And the local municipality gave management, they can only give management to the.
Yeah, but imagine, I don't think that is possible now, but if situation is like that, so if you make like kind of, I don't going in that direction, I just want to say what are the checks and balances and what are the real power in the people who actually.
It could be somebody else. In
Okay,
some
yes.
future, it could be somebody else, but.
Who is appointed by the city
In
council.
the point of financing electricity, water, and this kind of things, it's easier if it's public institution.
Can I probably add up? I'm sorry, can I probably add up on his question? It was a little bit cynical comment, thank you very much. It was a little bit, because that's what I want to talk about, it was a little bit cynical comment. You said before, and I would really be happy to hear something about that. You said before you want to kind of demonstrate, you didn't say prove, but demonstrate, what makes the difference between the anarchic model and the now, how to say, management model.
Yes.
For me, so far, there was missing light. It means you have talked about having an anarchic model before. This, what you had introduced now, sounds to me, for me like organized anarchy, but still anarchy. And the problem is in all of this that it lacks any kind of transparency. I'm sorry, it's so difficult, it's so complicated that any kind of outsider or even user who is not sophisticated, elaborated in law hardly can understand it. I'm sorry, really, I didn't get it. I didn't get the system. I think Boris also didn't get it really. So maybe we need a little bit.
I'll try to shed a little light on the problem. There are two sets of, or three sets of problems that are derived from the Slovenian law, and we are trying to avoid problems by adopting the management model. It is impossible, as I said, for the city to just give their assets away, their houses away for free, with no good reason. You need some sort of justification in some sort of law and we have law that regulates culture in Slovenia actually allows us to give our assets to public institutions who are, if I may finish, I comment that allows, or not only allows, but it's expected from the municipality, if they set up a public organization in the field of culture, and it's expected from the organization to produce something. But to do so, they need the resources, and one of the resources are also assets. I mean, houses. Where will they be? And if they have surplus of assets, the law states the surplus can be passed on to other users in the field of culture if their programs are compatible, so to say. And that's the regulations we are trying to use, so that the MKC doesn't give them away to any other, just any other institution or organization, the management model was adapted by the city council, so to say, to try to provide the places to the same occupants, not to the same all the time, but to the occupants who work here and produce some sort of program or some sort of output that can be seen and can be used by other cities of Maribor. So it's a complex legal issue that we are trying to regulate through the management model, and it's actually being allowed by law. And yeah, the management model as such was an invention, so to say, of the municipality of Maribor together with the occupants.
Maybe if I can add something? I just handed out the booklet, New Times, New Models. That was an international conference organized by Pekarna media in 2010 with the help of Maribor municipality and also Trans-Europe College. It's a network of European independent cultural centers. And then at that point, people came to Maribor that have similar experience in different countries or towns around Europe with similar institutions, similar locations, and try to put together a model that would work in Pekarna with different experience from people who helped to prepare it. So this was the starting point for the management model, however you want to call it.
Yes, I wanted to add something. What all of you did not mention. Why we put this youth cultural center in Maribor? Because this is the only building that was renovated. It started in 2010 based on European money. Okay? So the Office for Youth of Republic of Slovenia forced us to start solving the problem. Otherwise, I believe there would still be anarchy only by occupants. Okay? So Urška was in the same building, in the same place before the renovation, and I think you can say you have better conditions now.
Yeah, of course the conditions are better regarding electricity and toilet and plumbing and everything.
Yeah, okay. And so the Youth Cultural Center moved in here first after we got the 850,000 European money for renovation of this building. And this management model adopted by the city council had to be done to get the money. Okay? So I believe without this there would still be anarchy, because Youth Cultural Center was put in a very small place, somewhere here in the second floor. The club was taken away, as they said, and it was like a big step forward for the Youth Cultural Center. And what I believe, okay, we got a band, only Nina Bulatovic's band, no? This was quite a result of our negotiations between public institutions, but this transfer from total anarchy to this management was quite smooth. Ramis, can you agree? No, I mean, you understood, you have to, they were put out of Pekarna for 2 years, no? We found some other places for them, they were somewhere in the city, and we promised them you can come back under the same conditions when the building will be renovated.
And now the problem is because they don't have place to come.
This is not happening.
Not everybody.
Some of them.
Not everybody.
But they
Okay?
have a
But
nice location, I can show it.
It might happen in the future.
It's very nice.
So,
Yeah, okay. So I
Because the Pekarna was not renovated in the way it was meant at the beginning. That's the main reason why, but this circle didn't close.
But I have to say, just today, I was away for half an hour, and I heard like we really could get 7 million euros for the whole renovation. The Minister of Culture was in Maribor. But somehow also the users of Pekarna don't want the place to be completely renovated, to get the artificial feeling. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be organic. Yeah.
Okay.
Too expensive and it was too artificial.
So you see, we could renovate the whole place. We had a promise to get the money, but they want to keep the spirit of Pekarna.
Yeah, but isn't that the whole point of Pekarna being the way
No
it is?
problem, but in everything my life
Čak i ramo zramisliti lego spat ko že res neki čas da bi povedal.
Yes.
Who are the moderators?
So, I don't know now. Please.
So I haven't understood very well the way this management model is functioning. But I will be maybe a little bit harsh, but so far I have understood that once independent cultural center has made an agreement with the devil, losing a little bit of its independence in order to gain water, electricity, and renovated places. Because if you have all the managing staff appointed by the municipality, those people are under influence of the politics. So how do you cope with that?
It's not
No,
all
you
the
can't do
people, it's
something
only one organization that's, that has to be here due to the formal, due to the legislation, so that the municipality is able to transfer their assets to the occupants, and so one has to be here, and they actually don't have the say in who will occupy which space and who will not occupy which space and what the program in the space will be and stuff like that. That's not decided by MKC.
Maybe that's the...
Yeah, that's decided by other two bodies in the management model, and people in there are named, are actually being voted by the occupants, as Aramis explained earlier.
Maybe you can help us by explaining just exactly what are the jurisdictions of the MKC. Maybe that's
I just started, but
yeah, okay, sorry.
Two sentences. So maybe just to finish, and I started to grow here something. So
okay.
I said just what we have as which identities are included in this model. Yeah? So these are. I will speak now. Yeah, because model is only have a force in this building. That's a problem because there was a statement in the what city council accepted. There was a statement that force of this model goes under whole Pekarna after it's renovated, and the renovation is legal expression. You have to do it all from the scratch, you know, all papers, but we are not doing renovation anymore, but just
Sanitation.
just
Adaptation, yeah. Buildings are all not being completely renovated, they are only adapted, only things that really has to be
just
fixed.
functional investments, yeah, and the roof and windows and some basic things in the buildings are just functional investments. So the buildings really will not be renovated at all, but just local municipality, and that's why the force of the model cannot be used on the whole. But I will explain as it works on the whole complex to be more. Okay, there are users. They want program council. It's totally NGO. Yeah. A coordinator is NGO, and there is MKC. Yeah. And city. And we make some model, yeah? In this model, all the program things, who will work in Pekarna, what can be, which activities will be held in Pekarna. I mean, when some of the user which doesn't have a space wants to participate in Pekarna, wants to have a place or do some project. If they want to do a project, they have to ask program coordinator. It's a short term project. They have to ask coordinator. He has all the. They have knowledge which places are free to use, and they can give them for 1 month or something like that. to make some project, or talk to other users, maybe he can do the project here or somewhere, yeah? So he's coordinator, and it includes one professional here at least, also financed by this, yeah? They just finance payment for this one person. That's how it was meant. So, okay. And there are this is project users, yeah? If they want to apply for the program, so they want to keep some free place for longer term and make some longer program, then it's program council who decides if it's good for Pekarna or not, and if we have a place or not. And they also have the knowledge what these users are doing, because they have to report them from time to time, yeah, after 2 years or something. They have to report if they are not using the space according to what they promised to, or they are not, they're doing something else they said or something like that, then they are in the new model, they're thrown out, and maybe some of these can use the space. So it's made more fluently circulation of the users in Pekarna according to what they do, and this is main decision part of the model which is deciding. And of course this is voted out of all users. Yeah? So the all users decide which way will Pekarna go.
And the operator, which is named by the city, or is the operator due to the fact that the city gave the assets or will give the assets to the operator, doesn't have the same in this process. It's actually the role of the operator is of a supportive nature, so to say.
Like when this guy wants to have a place for the program used for 3 years, for instance, or, yeah, then they apply for this space, and program council gives the information to the public institution to make a contract with this guy. Yeah, because contract has to be made with them.
It's also complicated for me, although I know some of these, let's say, legal framework. But if I understand, like, to really simplify, again, I try to for me, like, it goes like the city appointed the youth center, the MKC, to actually pay the bills.
Yeah.
And then, but the users decide on everything. Did I understand correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to say, yeah, this is simple. The simple
Okay.
version, yeah.
Okay.
But we are just in this renewed building, okay? So the bills made on the at the moment to the other places, they are paid directly from the municipality.
At the moment, because, as I said, because the model isn't fully functional due to the last provision of the model, which says
So actually,
that the model will start work on all buildings when they are completely renewed. But that will probably never happen, or not. That will probably not happen in the near future. That's why we will have to adopt the model, not to make major changes to how things are working at the moment, just to enable the city to give all the assets to the MKC, which is the operator, and then he'll be able to pass them on to the occupants according to the decisions of the program council and program coordinator. And those decisions are not taken under any influences, so to say, of any city officials or the operator. So their decisions on who will be here and who will not be here and who will be able to.
Just a sub question. What do you do then, Maya? Sorry.
actually, the bills.
Yeah,
We are collecting the bills, and we are paying all the bills that are made in all the building. And now, if we adopt the model that would fit all the needs, then we would also pay the bills for other buildings, right? But it's really thank you for question. Is actually this is not, we are not established for this reason to pay the bills, of course. We
This is
are,
only one part, two part of the
yeah, we are a public institution devoted to three fields, so the youth, culture, and tourism. So we do lots of programs
Not
all
only
over
here.
the city, not just in Pekarna. And this we will find out later on when we move to program field. So yeah, we pay the bills solo, but not us, the municipality pay the bills, you know, so we are just navigating.
So for your opinion, you think that this model is enough participative for the users of Pekarna? No, what is your opinion? Do you feel that your program is independent and that is really, that participation is on a good level, satisfied level for your users?
The elections of the program council are every 3 years, yes. And nobody grabs for this place, right? So, it's, yeah, I think it is. And what is more important, well, I personally think it pushes users to use the place more productive. Yeah, it pushes. It have to, because after 3 years, or I don't know how it's contract, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, somebody will ask him, what did you do last 3 years? And before in anarchy model, we didn't have that.
Okay, question?
Just one for the bills. That means that the NGOs or the associations who are working here, they are not paying.
I'm telling you, we are not sitting.
Yeah, but
No
no
pay.
electricity, no rent.
So that is a question.
Of
if
course,
it
that
is
is
what.
the most
And
important function of the public institutions, I think, yes,
And-
to support the programs, yes.
and this comes
They
from,
give back the feedback as a culture, as a youth programs, that's investment.
and all this comes from, just from the promise of the mayor that they will come back under the same conditions because they were here illegal. And if you are somewhere illegal, you cannot pay electricity. So that's why the city was paying for 20 years. And when they were moved out, the mayor, the former mayor promised, when you come back, you will come under the same conditions. And they came back under the same conditions.
I would just like to maybe explain that because this management model does not work yet in its full extent, because of obviously only this building was renovated, it's really difficult to talk about management model. So we have lots of adaptations, and you can't really see if it is working or not because it's not working to full extent. If I just come back to this building, what has changed for the people who have been previously or organizations in this building? It has changed, as we already said, that some had to move to other locations in the city and are now in a good location, but some of them wanted, now not anymore, wanted to come back to Pekarna, to the buildings that should have been renovated, but were not. Because, for example, bands and divers and the climbers, they were supposed to be in Lubadar building, which you will see later. But now they are staying at another location that hopefully next year in June the contract expires and hopefully it will be prolonged. The location is good, however we have constant problems with the people who are living there because the location is in the city center in a building where also apartments are.
But you have a beautiful gallery.
Yeah, we have a big debate, but I just want to say that these are another problems on another location. The ones that have stayed here, so of course we are glad that we have electricity and toilet and plumbing and everything. At the beginning we were very unhappy with how this building was renovated because the open call for architects was planned in such a way that different architects competed for different buildings. So in my opinion, all other buildings have pretty good, have been so what the architects proposed was quite okay. As this building was, as you see, it was renovated as like building for offices. They were not considering that youth organizations and cultural organizations are having its headquarters here. Below we have a book of photographs that you can see how this building looked before. so maybe later when you come to our organization you can see. And now the NGOs that are on the ground floor, every 3 years we have to apply for the open call for the places. The program council is the one that puts up the criteria, of course, and then MKC has to publish this open call, but this is what has changed. So you don't feel so safe anymore here because you have to prove that you are doing a good job. And the money that the organization, the NGOs get is through also through open calls. So NGOs in Slovenia don't get money just on their bank accounts. You always have to apply for everything. And what is that the municipality should cover the cost of the program coordinator. So this does not make sense anymore because the program coordinator, in this case at the moment still our organization, does the work here and on the location in the city center. But here, everything is full, so you can't bring new people here. We try to offer our places to some organizations that are from either very small, that cannot afford their own spaces, or from different cities who have meetings once a month here. So we try to arrange places in our place. But otherwise, the program coordinator gets money. Then from MKC, at the moment, it's 2,000 euros per year. But it was planned in the management model. It's not written the number, but it was planned that the program coordinator would be the money from the municipality would be so high as to cover annual payment. So
but we are so glad we got the possibility to employ Lina, that is now taking care about the
so I just wanted to explain how it actually works. So this is the situation.
Ja, doma zdaj se pravi tak.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, keep it.
I have just one question about this from the council and these contracts. What about those ones who have no contracts? So how do you organize them and how do they participate in everything?
Without contract.
But you said some are legal and some are illegal. So how
everything else than this building is free, they don't have contracts, yeah?
But you said that there are some with contracts and the others without contracts.
No, in
this building, I'm talking about whole Pekarna.
Outside of this building, there is no any rules.
They are not participating in this model at all.
With contracts?
No, they're participating in the program council.
They're not having part of this model.
All these users which have space, this is not only this building, let's say this is this building, all this user can vote into the program council, because we have intention to extend this model to the whole department.
Yes, you said that every 3 years you are checking those ones who have contracts. Well, those who have no contracts,
no checking,
so they are not participating in the system.
But okay, just to remind, we are just about, because renovation is not done, so we have to move on. And we started to adapt, to make new products similar to this, which makes also the transition time. Yes? And transition time in Pekarna will be 2 years. So when we spread, when we make force of the model to the whole Pekarna, existing users will have 2 years without applying. That's that's our impression. Without applying for the place, because they are already inside, we give them 2 years to prove. And after 2 years, we make new call out for the old places in Pekarna. That's the plan.
But what does it mean that you are going to kick them out?
Yeah, if they were not active,
how are you
they
going
go
to
out.
kick them out? The security or what?
That is a good question. That is a good question. But we, I want to say that informations about development of this model is not made by the public institution. It's made by us And we constantly on the meetings of the all users, we point the most important things out. So we tell them, yeah, now you have 2 years. After that moment, you will have 2 years to prove yourself. And they participate to make these decisions. They can say, no, I want to have 4 years, but nobody said that.
One more short
When it
question, and
comes
then
to
we
that,
have to go and watch the
I'm sure
location.
with free users will be a problem, but
Like
most
Jackie
of them is
Prashani,
not.
But have you already have this experience of what happened after this 3 years? I mean, did you already like prove you have this first
Yeah,
round?
one time round already happened, and they all proved that they did a good job.
So they are all staying
Yes.
for another 3 years?
Yes, they just moved
In
some
this
offices in this building.
We just
Outside,
change maybe.
only here.
Okay, it's only.
So I think we will continue the talking, but we just have to go to see the locations.
We have now 15 minutes time. Upstairs there are some croissant and coffee.
But we still skipped one.
No, because we are coming back. So the point is, Ravi, we make a tour now, and at 6:15 we meet here again for answering the question after being on the site.
After the
So
tour.
now we are going to have a